I'm Kyle.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're
Semi-homesteaders. As you can see, today we're out here and we're cleaning up some of the damage after the ice storm.
But we're not wasting any of it. You'll notice I'm trimming limbs here, and that's because, remember we said we're not wasting anything? Well, we're going to use some of the straighter trees for fence posts later. At the end of the video, you'll learn more about that. So stay tuned, because Missy is going to talk about the uses of pine needles around the stead.
Well, while Kyle is out here working, I guess I should be out here working too. So while he's cutting down trees, I am going to gather some pine needles for mulch. These are so good to use in your garden and your landscaping. And so there was a previous video that I already did, and you can find it here. Now, it just briefly mentions about the pine needles, so I wanted to go into a little bit more detail here. As you can see, we have a lot. So one of the first advantages for us is they're free. We don't have to pay for them. They're just here in our yard, and it's either use them or just throw them away. So I'm going to just start taking some of the needles down if I can get over here to it, which is very easy to do. You're just going to grab your branch, and then you want to just get a handful of needles, and you're just going to pull down, okay? And it's going to pull all your needles off. Now, I have a tarp down here. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to throw all this, everything that I pull off the trees, I'm going to put it down in the tarp. That way it's very easy. I can fold it over. Everything stays in place. The wind is really blowing today, so these pine needles can kind of, start flying away. But I can just put this tarp over it and haul it wherever we need to haul it. Some reasons why you should take the time to collect these pine needles is because they have a lot of really good benefits. Like I said, right now, one of the main ones of ours is they're free, okay? Now, so you're not always going to get them free, but that's beside the point. Some other advantages are these needles will actually interlock. So when you put them down in your garden on the ground, they're going to interlock as they lay there and age. And that becomes really good because it is going to help hold the moisture in.
Look at there. Every now and then you got to tighten that chain up. Well, I got these ready to go. Now this one, I'm going to leave for the big chainsaw. But if you come around here, there's still plenty to do. Yeah, this one I'm going to leave for the big chainsaw. And probably some of the bases of those over there. But then I'm going to go ahead and cut these up. Maybe. There may be one or two there that need the big chainsaw. It's gotten up to 60 degrees out here today in February. I don't get it. But anyway, just one of those things. The earth is alive, tilts on its axis. Temperatures go up, temperatures go down through the decades. At any rate, it got warm and I had to get rid of that jacket. I wanted to go ahead and finish this up here along the driveway coming in, but before I run out of battery, and I just had to put my other battery in, that's why I said in another video, have at least 2 batteries, okay? One charging, one ready to go. I wanted to clean this up, but I'm thinking before I possibly run out of battery completely today, I want to get to where I can get the tractor out. So I may go up there and do some cutting.
It also is going to protect the soil. So like even in really hot times when maybe we don't have a lot of rain, because those needles are interlocked, then it holds that moisture down in the soil, which that's very important because that's really where the roots, that's where the water and the moisture needs to be, is in the soil, not on the top of the plant. Because of that interlocking effect, it's going to help keep that soil in place, which is really good. Also, it will help with weed suppression. You get all these little needles down on the ground and it's going to just, it's almost like the black stuff that you see people put down in their gardens or their landscaping. It's going to keep all the weeds from growing up. And that's really good because I don't know about you, but I do not like weed picking. Back on the interlocking, another really good part about that is it is going to help keep your soil from washing away. I do want to share just a really quick little story with you. My niece is probably going to kill me, but I just thought of this. And for those of you who have maybe noticed our dog, this is not our dog. That is my brother's dog, but Matilda, that's Matilda. I'm introducing you to her. I think she's in every video that we've done because we're neighbors with my brother and sister-in-law. So, and I don't know if you can tell, but Matilda took a little swim in the pond and decided she wanted to be lovey-dovey with me. So if I'm dirty, just excuse it because she's been loving on me. Anyways, back to my niece. She was so sweet. She was little bitty and I kept her. I watched her. And so we were outside and I told her we had a garden back then. This was years ago. She's 20 something and she was like 2, maybe. I don't know. I'm terrible with age. I can't remember. But we were outside and so I said, Lauren Kylie, I said, let's go and let's weed the garden. She was like, okay. She was all excited. So we took off to the garden and, you know, I'm holding her hand and the closer we get there, she's looking and she stops and she looks up at me and she says, what are weeds? And I about fell out. She had no clue what a weed was. So for those of you who do know, we don't like them. Okay, had to take a little break there. We had a big old gust of wind to come in and whew, but my pine needles are all still good. So we're ready to go. But back to our tips. Another really good tip is these are great for acid loving plants, okay? Like your tomato plants, your blueberry plants, and even on into the landscaping, rhododendrons, azaleas, hollies, these will be really good for that because they love acid and they're going to get that from these pine needles. they're going to break down really slow, which that means that you are only going to have to redo these or, you know, add to it maybe once a year. Okay, this is not something you're going to have to do continually because it takes them so long to break down. And so that's really a really good thing too. So like I said, you can see where taking the time to just, you know, it's windy, but it's a nice day today to just, you know, get these pine needles off because we're getting ready to start planting on our garden. And these are going to be so good in our garden. Oh my goodness, this is just an added bonus. Look at this little baby pine cone. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Because they're so good with the weed suppression, these are wonderful to lay down in the paths in your garden, or maybe even going to your garden, however you have it laid out. But they just work really well. They'll, like I said, they interlock so they stay together, and it just helps. It can help with the mud. You know, a lot of times after rain, it's just a muddy mess. And so if you have these pine needles down, it's almost just like a little walkway, but it's pine needles. So another great reason to keep these little babies.
Time to start moving it all out. Remember I said we were going to use some of the trees as fence posts? What I'm doing here is using a draw knife to get the bark off, and then later I'll burn the surface of the tree at the bottom where you put it into the ground, and that will help preserve it and keep it from rotting. It's amazing how easy that draw knife takes the bark right off that tree. And in keeping with not wasting anything, we'll use the bark scraps as mulch as well.
We have a lot of trees and we're gonna have a lot of mulch.
There's still a lot to do. I took care of as much as I could, you know, with the small electric chainsaw. There's a couple of trees, like this one, that I'm going to have to come back with the bigger chainsaw. That's okay, no worries. But thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all those things.
Yep. Share,
yes.
Comment. We'd love to hear from
yes.
you. Yeah.
Let us know maybe some stuff that you're having to do, or maybe you didn't have an ice storm, but you just have some stuff that you're working on around your homestead.
Have you used pine needles for mulch or for pathways around your place? Let us know how it's working out.
And as always, Lord bless you.